Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day. We are getting to the point when we're going towards our goals where it's easy to kind of lose focus, lose sight of what we want to do, where we want to be, and just that end goal at the end of the year. And so I wanted to make a video just telling you guys about some things that you should look out for and things that could knock you off of your purpose on your way to whatever goal that you have towards the end of the year. Here are some things that I was tripped up by in the past that I just wanted to warn you guys about in case you are not aware. And so if you're into that, please stay tuned and we will get right into the video with the first thing that could knock you off of your purpose. And that is friends that are not in alignment with what you want for your life. Friends that don't align with your goals aren't always going to be super malicious, super outlandish, and that noticeable. It could be really subtle and in ways that you are not expecting. If you want to lose weight, it could be the friend that's super social and just wants to catch up with you, and it always has to be over brunch or dinner, going out, overindulging in food. It could be a friend who wants to make you feel better. They've noticed that maybe you're feeling a little bit down, and so they bring you cake, they bring you donuts, they bring you pastries in order for you to feel well. Or that friend that sees food as love or food as something to use to celebrate whenever you do reach a goal or a milestone. I know when it comes to hanging out with friends, they can be very persistent at times because they do want what's best for you emotionally, even if what you guys are doing together isn't the best physically. And so that is the number one thing for me that throws me off of my purpose. And that's just friends that do not 100% align with my goals. You have to really be careful and be able to spot that, this action that I'm doing can knock me off my goal, especially if it's becoming repeatable. So just be careful with that one. Number 2 is family members or people in proximity who do not take your goals seriously. So we all have heard those stories of people who want to have a specific thing happen for them in their life. They let their parents know, and they're not necessarily on track or on the same page with you when it comes to meeting that goal. So it could be, for example, say you want to be a singer, but your parents want you to go to college, right? You have a vision for yourself, you have a plan, but your parents only wanting what's best for you and only being able to see within the realm of their understanding. They don't want you to be a singer or a pop star or even maybe a YouTuber, right? They want you to go to college and major in STEM. And if you're not like me and just, do what was laid out for you and you want to, get off of the beaten path, that might actually hinder your progress towards your goal. And so if you feel strongly about a goal, even if it is going against the grain and it's scary, just be able to do it scared, go against the grain, and have conviction towards what you want, because that will help you reach your goal faster than maybe doing things the more conventional way. The third thing that knocks you off of your path, knocks you off of your focus, and one that I used to struggle with a lot is comparison. Comparing your start to someone's finish or middle. That is the quickest way to knock yourself off, to become discouraged, and to just sabotage all of your progress. Because we have such a unlimited access to the internet through Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, all of those things, and Instagram, we're able to see highlight reels of people's lives because those things are carefully curated in order to look a certain way. Some of these things people are getting paid to promote, and because of that, they want it to look a certain way. Brands want it to look a certain way because they're selling you something. They're selling you an image, and because they're selling you that image, it's going to look the way you would want your progress to look. But you have to keep in mind that those people most likely started a long time ago. They planned it. It took a lot of work to get to where they are. And they're just showing you a snapshot that's making it look like it was easy and overnight. And that's not always the case. And so comparing yourself to people that you want to be like, and if it doesn't give you motivation, if it's making you feel like you're behind, that can sabotage your progress and make you think, why even bother, right? It could also get you into a habit of doom scrolling or over planning, over analyzing things online instead of taking action. And so comparison is super dangerous. And I try my best to only compare myself to my past self. Number 4 is momentary pleasure. Momentary pleasure is also dangerous because it could be as something as little as, oh, I'm just going to try one, say, scratch off ticket. That could become an addiction, or even another form of momentary pleasure that could have a very real and permanent consequence, like bearing children. You never know. What I do want to bring home here is that discipline is protection, because going against your values or looking off of your purpose for even a split second can actually change your life. And it might not necessarily be a bad change, but it could be something that changes the trajectory of your plan 180 to where you're doing something completely different based off of a split decision that you made in one moment in time, that if you hadn't made that decision, your life would look completely different. And so just keep that in mind when it comes to momentary pleasure. Really weigh the pros and cons and if it's worth it in the moment. Just think, if I wait a day, 24 hours, a week, a month, and I still want this, how will it change my life? How will it impact my life? I like to think about things like that when I have a feeling of wanting something really, really bad in the moment. I'm thinking, I won't die if I wait 5 minutes. Think about it. Never rush into a decision based off of momentary pleasure, because it will be there later when you're more ready. So always, always, always think about it and give yourself more time, because again, discipline is protection. The fifth one is anger and rash decisions. Now, this one is something that is a deal breaker for me, because I know for a fact that anger can get you in a lot of trouble. It can have you lose your job. It could have you lose a lot of money. It could have you lose in competition because you're losing focus. You're losing your cool. It's dangerous potentially as well. And so because of that, I try to stay away from people who are quick to anger, who, let their emotions get the better of them when we are in a situation that could be dire. You want to surround yourselves and you want to be a person who really thinks before they act, because that could actually be a life or death situation. It could also be a life altering situation. You don't want to end up dead or in jail, right? And so I feel like anger is something that you should really, really take stock of and just really be careful around, because things can get serious really quick when it comes to that emotion. I also feel like when you are angry or feeling this emotional reaction, this is the point where you have the most to lose. And so that's why you should really think when you feel yourself getting angry, separate yourself from whatever it is, really think about what it is making you feel this way and why, and just be smart. And just keep in mind too that there will be attempts, whether from people or just circumstances, to have you lash out. And that is a test, right? So just always behave as if you could lose everything. That is something that I live by. And I think it would help you to live by that way as well. And lastly, the last thing that can knock you off of your purpose is event triggers. Things like birthdays, holidays, milestones, even sad things, deaths in the family, loss of friendship, breakups. These things could also knock you off of your purpose because they're life altering things, right? And so this is another sort of offshoot from number 5, where if there is an emotional thing happening, you should really separate yourself from that situation just momentarily, even if it's a good thing, and think, how will my decisions impact my life? And I know to some that might sound a little bit dramatic, right? Especially if you're thinking about like a birthday party. But just think, there have been stories of people who have won the lottery, whether it's scratch off or like the big jackpot, and they wanted to go out and give everybody drinks, go on a huge trip. They want to treat people or buy their moms a house. These are all split decisions based off of a good thing that happened. So again, when things happen, when life events happen, think about the implications of your actions. Think about some things that you can do to protect yourself first. You just won the lottery? Okay, pay your taxes, save at least 50% of it, and then do whatever it is that you want to do, right? That's like a safety net. Pay your taxes, save your money, have fun. In that order, in that order, right? Then if you want to buy somebody a house, if you have enough to do that, then do that. If you want to go for a round of shots and you have enough, you've paid your taxes, you've saved your lottery winnings, go have shots with your friends, right? Go to a nice dinner or on a nice trip. But we should always do these things last because your future self will thank you. So those are things that I have run into, things that can knock you off of your purpose to any goal in life. For me, it's financial, but it literally can be to any goal, professionally, physically, even when you wanting to just change your life in general and find someone to marry, right? So just keep those things in mind. And I'm sure there are some things that I've missed, and that's where you come in, because I want to know in the comments what are some things that have knocked you off of your purpose in the past, or things that you've avoided on your way to a specific goal. That's what I want to know in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you in the next video.